right, welcome back to the Built to Grow podcast, a special Whiskey Wednesday coming back at you, joined by Randy Angston. What's up, buddy?
Oh, better now.
Had a nice, this episode sponsored by Colonel E.H. Taylor Single Barrel. I'm going to say this is my number one favorite bourbon.
Bold move, bold statement there.
Yeah, I introduced this to somebody and they said they didn't like it, or two people and they didn't like it, but everybody's got different taste. I'm going with this one. This is my go-to. So welcome, guys. We've got a great episode today. We're up in the cabins again in the White Mountains of Arizona, enjoying the 60-degree weather while the rest of the Phoenix Valley is sitting in the hundreds again.
Almost twice the temperature here. That's nuts.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Got a good episode for you guys. I'm going to read an article. I'm going to kick this off. This article has been kind of bouncing around for a week or so. And it's it's basically on every news network and, New York Times, whatever. Mask mandates return in some places as COVID cases rise. Hollywood Studios Lionsgate has implemented mask mandates on certain floors of the Santa Monica, California offices after several employees tested positive for the virus, according to the Hollywood Reporter. In Atlanta, Morris Brown College announced a 2-week mandate requirements as well as a ban on large gatherings. And some hospitals have also begun to require face coverings again, including Kaiser Permanente in California and 2 upstate medical university facilities in Syracuse, New York. Meanwhile, in Kentucky and Lee County, school districts canceled classes on Tuesday and Wednesday and shifted to remote learning Thursday and Friday, citing a wave of students and staff members being COVID, strep throat, the flu, or other illnesses.
Interesting.
Here we go again. Apparently we're going to do the dance again. And, this episode, we're going to hopefully give you a little bit of ammo, hopefully change your mindset on some things. Listen, at the end of the day, I think we learned our lesson. I would hope. None of the things that were ever pushed down worked.
Nope.
I don't care which way you lean politically or how you feel about this virus. The data is the data. The virus, the vaccine didn't work. Masks didn't work. They shut down your business as a gym owner, but while yet essential businesses stayed open like Home Depot and Walmart and other big box corporate entities stayed open, while you, the peon, you gym owner, you piece of scum, you shut your doors and you suffer. And I don't know how you feel about it. I'm sick and tired of it. I would hope you are too. It's pretty clear to me that, that why wouldn't they try to push this back out? They like the power. They like to tell us what to do. It's up to you what you're going to do about it. I know what I'm going to do.
100%.
I know what most gym owners we work with are going to do. But what are you going to do?
Yeah. And this is the whole reason we're having this episode, is to kind of raise awareness. And we need you to start thinking about it now. The last time we went through this stuff, I know I'll drink to that. Yeah. The last time we went through this, we said the same thing in the beginning. You have to prepare when they open things up again and then they shut it down again. It was like, how are you going to respond? What are you going to do? When that was posted or shared the other day in our Iron Circle, I don't think anybody in there is going to play the game anymore again. I made a comment that COVID is going to be what you believe it is. When it comes to your business, when it comes to how you operate, when it comes to the fear, when it comes to all of that, you're living with whatever you believe to be true. Your actions are going to follow your beliefs in the gym, how you handle it, all of those things. And to Tim's point, this is probably a very clear logic versus emotional conversation. Nobody wants people sick. Nobody wants people hurt. Nobody wants people passing. But at the end of the day, the evidence, the data from everything that we went through this first round completely contradicts everything that they forced upon us. And so this is your opportunity to decide what side of the coin you're going to be on.
Well, any logical human being could see right through this. Logical. Like, what did the arrows in the supermarket do? Nothing.
They're still there.
What did wearing a mask into a restaurant but then sitting down and taking it off do? Nothing. There's no logic involved in this.
How about you can walk into a restaurant and sit at a high top and you're actually higher than you were standing.
Yeah.
And you can take your mask off.
Yeah, right. If you're eating or drinking, you can't eat or drink through a mask, so you could take it off then. So it's either it's on or it's off. And, you know, all the tests and studies and everything showed that the mask didn't do anything anyway. They only made you worse. And we all know from day one, it was very clear in the data that exercise, sunlight, all those things were better for people.
Mm-hmm.
But by design, they shut the health and wellness facilities down. They made you stay indoors. You couldn't even go to a beach. You had to wear a mask outdoors. Like all of the things that would make you better, they stopped you from doing that by design.
And guys, we're in the health and fitness industry, right? Yeah. Like they should be coming to us for some of that information and recommendations and things like that, not telling this industry what to do and to close your doors because we're part of the problem.
You guys have to stand up for yourself finally. I think, you know, I mean, look, I'll give everybody the benefit of the doubt the first time. Nobody knew. So you know, there was plenty of people that stayed open and fought, and there were some people that, you know, listened to everything they were told. Now we know better. So now you know what's right and wrong, and you know BS when you see it, and it's up to you. Are you just going to go along and be one of the people, one of the sheep that says, yeah, the government's really looking out for me. This is for the best interest of public health. No,
it's not.
They don't.
To that exact point, when those leaders, some of those consultants and things that were brought in to help kind of navigate that from our government's point of view, if you may, they have come out and talked about how it was a failed adoption in their eyes. It was a test on control. The same people who are telling you that this is a legitimate need to go do this to save yourself are now talking about how the adoption from the American, you know, public didn't go as well as they said it would or felt it should, and therefore that was why, like, that was their test. And they've literally said this, right? We now have evidence saying that proves that medical professionals were being compensated and incentivized to push the vaccine.
Oh, that's known. That's known.
All of the evidence is there, though, right? So when you're telling us one thing and you're doing something 180 degrees the opposite, that's our opportunity to challenge it.
Well, listen, I mean, when you start looking at the bigger picture and looking at who's really calling the shots, the big pharmacies and pharma and everybody else, of course they want you sick.
Mm-hmm.
Look, health. You listening to this, you're a health and fitness professional. You understand the diet, nutrition, and exercise. Go look at the food pyramid that, you know, I think it was in the 70s or early late 60s that came out. We know that the food pyramid is the exact opposite of how you should be eating.
A doctorate requires 13 hours of nutritional studies. That's it.
Well, the whole time. It's by design. So, like, they want you sick. They want you scared. They want control. Like, stand up for yourself. And what are you going to do? So, like, eventually something's going to happen, and they're going to say all gyms and restaurants and bars must shut their doors. This is going to happen, or if it does, let's just say let's hope it doesn't, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say you're presented with that information. Now, what are you going to do? You know, you're going to stand up and say, nope, we're going to just keep our doors open, and you can come shut us down if you want to, and we're going to open up the next day, and we're going to fight. You're in for a fight. Like,
you are, but I mean, look at what happened the first time. I mean, guys like, you know, the Ian Smiths that were loud about keeping their doors open and things like that. Look at what happened to him at the end of the day. 100% of everything's been dropped.
Has it?
They stretched. You know, I'm almost positive all of his stuff was dropped because it all comes back to constitutional law. They don't have the authority to do the things that they've said, and now that it's being tested in a court of law, it's coming back in the favor of the people.
So where are the repercussions for them?
Voting. That's the biggest damn thing. Vote them all out, man.
Well, listen, guys, like eventually you have to know what you have to decide now what you're going to do.
Yep.
Because they're going to say masks are required in gyms. They're going to say 6 feet apart in gyms. They're going to say 2-week mandate, 2-week shutdown, 2 weeks. Like they always start with 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And then it goes to 6 months and 9 months. I mean, at least in some states, they figured it out earlier than later. I mean, we got shut down 3 times. Was it open and then shut and then open and shut again? I don't remember.
I think it was 2 with the 1 month gap in between or something like that.
Something like they open and then close again. Anyways, I didn't close. I mean, our clients knew. We had the police come.
Mm-hmm.
We shut the door and they left. I mean, it's just up to you. Like, listen, you have a business to run. You have lives to change. No matter how you feel about this, or maybe you believe that shutting down is the best thing, and then in that circumstance, then shut your damn doors, and you can't really complain.
You have no right to complain.
You can't complain.
Mm-mm.
So this is the right thing to do for public health, because that's what you're being told. Like, think for yourselves, gym owners. Think for yourselves. I've seen through a lot of this for a long time, but it's not the mainstream, right? So it's the opposite.
We lost a third of the entire industry the first round.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, industry. Yeah, the fitness industry. What do we? Who are those that are left? You know, how many of them are still recovering from what they went through the first round? This could be an onslaught.
Yep.
Against the fitness industry. It's a very scary thing. Now and this is something that everyone, again, information and what you need to know. I mean, there are states that have already started to put in measures to prevent shutdowns and lockdowns. It's going to be state by state. It's going to be city by city. But to Tim's point, like, you have to decide what you're going to do and then be educated enough to know what's coming down for you in your area.
And look, it's gonna be a new strain. It's gonna be a more deadly strain,
just like murder hornets, right?
Yeah, quote unquote. It's gonna be a new derivative of some new kind of mutated virus that gets into your brain and like kills people. Like, just don't listen to anybody. I mean, listen to your gut, I guess. Yeah. Listen to yourself. But I'm not here to tell anybody what to do. I'm here to tell you to think. That's it. I know what we're doing, whatever, but like, it's coming. I mean, they're going to try it again.
Yeah.
And from what I'm hearing, again, I can't verify any of this stuff. Like, there's been major orders for, PPE and things coming in for the U.S. government, and all these things are like, they're preparing for something. What do they know? Or what are they going to try?
It seems like they're offering the pill and the problem. You know what I mean?
Well, the other thing is you have to think about is there's an election coming up, at least in the United States. And there was a designed attack on, mail-in voting, and they wanted to do that stuff. And like, again, I know there's plenty of people that lean both ways that listen to this show. Not here to upset anybody, but listen, this is all by design.
Yeah, there's none of this. Plan. That's exactly
there's
it.
No coincidences.
None of it's coincidence. None of it's a shot in the dark. These are the people that are designing the control from their point of view to stay there, to maintain power, to do all of those things. Why would they not?
Right.
Like that. Like, that's the thing. If you were in that position, I mean, it's human nature. Once you're there, you're going to do the things to stay there in power. I mean, it just seems so clear when you look at the big picture and you look at timing, you look at all of the factors. It's just, I don't understand how. I'm curious as to how public adoption is going to go.
It's got to be the opposite. I think most people woke up and they saw what, here's the best quote I've ever heard. Nobody regrets not taking the vaccine.
Yeah.
Sorry if you took it and you regret it. Maybe hopefully you learned a lesson. Like, nobody regrets not taking it. I know only people that regret taking it.
Yep.
But why did you take it? Like, you were pressured into it. You were going to lose your job if you did it. Like, there was all these reasons why. We didn't even come close to it. It wasn't even a thought in my mind I was going to take that thing.
Time close. Not once.
It's interesting how the people that I associate with, that wasn't even an option.
Mm-hmm.
But there's millions of people that took it, and millions of people that regretted it, and millions of people that are dying from all these weird off, myocarditis and heart attacks and things. LeBron James kid at 18 collapsing for a heart attack. Like, I'm guessing he took the vaccine. I don't know.
I'm sure he had to play.
All the miscarriages, there's no coincidence, guys. I don't know. It's too easy for me to say what I'm saying, but like, it's going to happen, and there's going to be people that shut the doors, and there's going to be people that are going to lose all their revenue and go broke and file bankruptcy and close their doors and not get anything for it and lose their businesses and be back on the streets and trying to, it's like,
why?
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's going to listen.
Yep. It's tough. I mean, it's an emotional conversation too. I mean, it's tough. Nobody wants to be the bad guy. Nobody wants to be the business owner that puts their foot in the ground and, resists the norm or whatever, goes against the grain type of thing.
Attacked. Yep.
But here's the thing. Half of the people half of the people completely believe what you believe. And as easy as it is to say, I don't want to be the gym owner to keep my doors open in fear of the repercussions, closing your doors is laying down and accepting the fate that's coming to you. At least if you keep your doors open, you have an opportunity to fight. This is a difficult business. Owning a business is difficult in general.
You're just now getting on your feet again.
Yeah.
There's gyms we work with that are just now turning the corner years later. What are we, 2023, late 2023? So like 2020, whatever, 3 years ago, they were put through the ringer all the way for about a year and a half. And now a year and a half, like a year after that, you're just now turning the corner and they're going to come to you and say, hey, you got to wear masks. That's going to be the first thing. You can stay open, but the numbers are rising in your area and you better wear a mask. Guys, the mask didn't work. If the mask worked, then it would have solved the problem.
Yep.
Well, here's the vaccine. The vaccine didn't work. More people died from COVID with the vaccine than not.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't work.
And 100% of side effects only affect those that take it.
100% of the side effects go to the people that take it.
I mean,
it didn't work. Yeah. None of it worked. 6 feet apart didn't work. Quarantine.
And you have to think about things like their excuse for why that wasn't working was because those that didn't take it were the problem. Well, no, the people who took it are still being affected, still getting COVID to a worse degree and level than most that didn't take a vaccine. It's like we're being told something 100% opposite of reality and expected to believe it. So that's our point, is like challenge what you're being told with your gut, right? Challenge what you're being told with the evidence, with the data. It's all out there now. I mean,
it's clear cut.
I mean, the thing that scares me is the athletes.
Well, what does it scare you about? Like they took it.
Well, yeah, but to that point, I mean, we're talking about healthy individuals, people who have, the greatest doctors, the greatest.
Well, they're dying. Like what is it scary? I mean, they made a decision.
The thing that scares me is that that's the forced agenda.
Yeah.
That is supposed to be seen as normal and okay and acceptable. And I mean, what's his name that on the football field?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like,
Bills? Yep.
Like it's this aware. We're this aware of all of these side effects and the things that are happening, but yet we're not supposed to, acknowledge any of it.
The people who get it, they see you guys are listening. You're like, yeah, I know. You see right there. A lot of you see right through it, but your neighbors, other gym, like people that are in your, I guess, neighborhoods, they don't think the way you think. We're different anyway to begin with. So it's going to be up to you to make a decision. If you decide you're going to wear masks, if you decide you're going to close your doors, if you decide you're going to do 6 feet apart and quarantine and all the stuff that didn't work, then you deserve to get what you're getting. I mean, honestly,
100%. You've made that choice. You get the repercussions of that choice.
Case in point. That's it.
It's that simple.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else is there to talk about? This whiskey's good.
This whiskey's very good. No, we got to do more of these though, because I get that feedback a lot. So
the rants or the whiskey?
They're both. But no, I think it's a good, guys. I mean, at the end of the day, like Tim said, I mean, we're trying to expose a little bit of critical thinking. We're trying to challenge you to maybe put your foot in the in the ground or stay on that side of the line and hell, I mean, you're a health and fitness professional. Maybe your calling is to educate your neighbors. Maybe your calling is to have some resistance in the conversation and educate others on the evidence that is out there and things like that. Because right now, I mean, we know that the way that it's going to be addressed, right? Our government's going to go to the major media and everybody's going to push the narrative right down our throat.
As soon as you start seeing the tickers, like with the COVID counts pop up, then it's started, because that'll be the first thing. There'll be some chatter, and then there's going to be some like numbers being thrown in your face, which can you verify or not? It's unverifiable.
Well, we found out from the evidence last time that like 80% of those cases were not COVID related.
But again, somebody dies in a car accident They have COVID. That was the death. There was all these reasons for them to inflate numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping you guys see this. Like, you don't think we're crazy at this point. Like, what are you talking about? We're like, I believe what they're saying. Burr, burr, burr. Hey, listen, man, why don't you just like, remember when you were in the grocery store and there was a guy wearing like a spacesuit in front of you?
Mm-hmm.
That was supposed to be normal. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Remember they were wearing like diapers on their head, fish bowls, dinosaur suits, with the blow up stuff. Like
that's gonna save humanity from a virus.
We were freaking morons,
man.
Everybody was.
Oh yeah.
And, in the U.S., like if we're going to talk about the United States was created on the very foundation of freedoms, personal freedoms. We got away from the King of England, and we had a revolution.
Yeah.
And we created our laws of free people, right? Unfortunately, in other countries, that's not the same.
Yeah.
The land of the free is the United States. And that's why so many other countries, the populations admire the people of the United States, because we have the freedoms that many don't, especially in other countries. Well, that's the thing have.
The U.S. is we're founded on the fact that we have complete and total freedom. Our government cannot grant freedom. Our government can only take away our freedoms.
Right.
And so that's the big deal.
And so the point that I'm trying to make is at least at the United States level, the people of the United States, we have the right to stand up to the government, right? And really every other country does too, but you're at a disadvantage in other countries, right? And I saw what happened in Australia, and I saw what happened in other countries in Canada, right? You guys got even worse than us, especially Canada. We have a lot of clients in Canada. You guys were killed up there from mandates and lockdowns. And they were like, I saw people getting ripped out of their houses and stuff. At least in the United States, we have one thing going for us, is which we have the right to be free. We start free, and we're not, And so it's in our DNA to stand up to the tyrannical government, of which is, telling us
any overstep,
right? It's in our DNA. What's happening as the generations go on, and the baby boomers, and those that they studied civics in high school and in college.
They knew the Bill of Rights.
They understood the Bill of Rights. They understood the Constitution. Well, that stuff was designed and pulled out of the curriculums. So the younger generations don't know the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's easier to pull the rug on the younger generation, because they don't understand what we were founded on. And so it's up to, I guess, our generation and older to teach the youngster, to hold the line. Because it's gonna get worse. Like, the whole goal here is power. Control.
That's the thing that I mentioned earlier. Like, it was Gates that came out and in an interview said it verbatim. This was a test to see how the U.S. population, how our population was going to adopt that a level of control that was suggested.
I think they failed. They failed for the 100%, but they sure as hell duped a hell of a lot of people.
Yeah, but fool me once, shame on me.
Mm-hmm.
Or shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? And this is exactly the reason we're having that conversation. Is you guys went through this. You saw how it happened. You saw it play out. You saw the other side of the coin now. And if you go back down that path and you let that happen to you, nobody can save you.
Yep. So hopefully this gets your wheels turning, guys. A little bit of a Whiskey Wednesday rant. It looks like we're out. We're going to have to get a refill here. So if you guys need any help, have any questions, want to just jam, want to just talk, we have a Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Jump in that group. When the COVID shutdowns first happened, we held webinar after webinar, and we helped people navigate a lot of this stuff, and we did it right out of that group.
Yep.
So if you want to be ahead of it, we're staying really, ear to the grind, or ear to the ground, whatever,
grindstone,
whatever.
Something.
We're listening, we're watching. You keep your head down in your area. Let us kind of keep an eye on everything else. Jump in that group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals.
Should be in the show notes.
Should be in the show notes. That's it for this episode, guys. Until next time, keep changing lives. See you on the next show. Bye.
All right. And thank you for listening to that episode of the Built to Grow podcast, where we help gym owners win. Now, do you want to connect with me and other gym owners online? All you need to do is join our private Facebook group, Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. Just head on over to Facebook and type in Business Talk with Fitness Professionals. And when you do, we're going to give you our 10 marketing strategies 7-figure gym owners use to win. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until then, keep building something great.